Alright everyone, so in my last video I talked about 3 stocks that I would consider buying if Joe Biden wins the election. And so in this video I'm going to be doing the opposite. I'll show you 3 stocks that I would potentially buy if we see Trump win another term in the White House. I like making these kind of videos and there are some unique stock picks in this video, so hit the like button on this video if you find value out of these stocks that I'm bringing you. Now, before we start the video, I want to say I found these stocks using the methods in my free investment guide where I show you how to find undervalued stocks. It's completely free and it's the first link in the description, so be sure to check that out if you want to know how I find undervalued stocks like these. All right, so let's get right into it. The first stock on this list has to do with President Trump's energy policy. And it's pretty clear that Trump is a fan of keeping the oil and gas industry and the coal industry, around in the country. He doesn't want to get rid of them like potentially Joe Biden does. So because of that, this is an area I would be looking to invest in if we do see Trump win. So the first stock that has to do with this is Smart Sand. Their ticker is SND. And so this company provides fracking sand for companies that do fracking for oil and gas. Now there's a couple things I like about this company. First is they're trading at an extremely cheap valuation. Their price to earnings is only a 3. Obviously this is due to fears about the fracking industry. Like I've said in previous videos, the market is pricing in a Joe Biden victory. And so because of that, stocks that have to do with fracking have been beaten down a lot. Another thing I really like about this company is the low debt levels. I'll show you in a second. The management has a priority on keeping debt levels low, which you're not really going to see in the oil and gas industry with most oil and gas companies being levered. This company has one of the best balance sheets in the oil and gas industry. So the way that this company actually operates is that they have a different system than most fracking sand companies. Most other sand providers have a really old technique of getting that sand into the ground, which is just putting it in a box and moving it to the site. With Smart Sand, they actually have a new technology where they have vertical storage containers and they just move those right over the mine site, and then they can just drop the sand right in that way. So it's a lot more efficient, and this is a potentially interesting moat for the company. Here's an article talking about how the rest of the fracking sand industry is struggling to stay afloat. Smart Sand is actually gaining market share. And something they do is they lease these systems, these vertical towers that are used to store and transport the sand. And so because of that, coming out of this crisis, Smart Sand could actually be in a good position to be the market leader for fracking sand. Now here is the shareholder letter, and in this the CEO talks about their guiding principle strategies being the low-cost producer of high-quality northern white sand, maintaining low debt levels and being one of the lowest leveraged companies, and delivering efficient and sustainable logistics from the mine to the well site. So I would say all 3 of these things are very good for Smart Sand. One, they're the low-cost producer, which can be a moat in and of itself. Then we have the fact that there's low debt levels, which means that this company is in a position to take advantage of opportunities that other oil and gas companies can't. And lastly, they're developing that logistics chain that would allow them to control the entire distribution process. So here's the company on Guru Focus, and taking a look at the valuation rank across the industry, this is one of the cheapest companies you're going to find, but they also have a high quality. The thing I like about them is since 2014, both their net income and their operating cash flow has been positive every year. So even though you have a ton of these fracking companies losing money, Smart Sand has shown that they're able to be consistently profitable even with fluctuating oil and gas prices. In terms of their financial strength, their debt to equity is only a 0.23, which is among the best in the industry. So overall, if we do see a Trump win, this could be a very good stock to invest in for a recovery of the energy sector. All right, so the next stock on this list is not a stock I would buy. This is actually a stock I would potentially short. And this stock is the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF. Their ticker is ICLN. And so this one's interesting because, like I said, the market's pricing in a Biden victory. And so because of that, the energy stocks have been going down, but we have the renewables and the clean energy stocks have been on a roll. And so this clean energy ETF has a basket of all of those clean energy stocks, solar, wind, renewables. And there's been a lot of hype for this sector, where at the end of this month, we had a huge run up in this ETF, probably over 30-40%, a 30% move in just a couple of weeks. And because of that, I think there's way too much hype in the clean energy space, even though undoubtedly that's the way the world is moving. I think the market is creating unrealistic expectations for the sector. And so because of that, especially if we see a Trump win, I would consider shorting this stock if it's near the same levels it's at today, just because without Joe Biden in office to really place a priority on investing in clean renewable energy, this ETF will probably fall a substantial amount. I would not be surprised at all if Trump wins if this ETF got back down to $14 or $12 per share. And instead of choosing an individual renewable energy company that I don't know enough and potentially could just keep going up, in my opinion, it's safer to short an ETF because it contains the basket of those stocks. And if Trump wins, the overall movement of renewable energy stocks should be down, at least immediately following the election. All right, the last stock is Geo Group. And yes, this is a stock I talked about for buying if Joe Biden wins, but this is a very interesting stock if we see Trump win another term. Since Trump is not as hard on private prisons as Joe Biden, and we can take a look at what happened last time Trump was elected, we can take a look at the long-term chart. This stock was under $15. And within a year of Trump winning the election, it rallied all the way to over 30. So right now, the market's pricing the stock as if Joe Biden's going to win and is going to completely abolish the private prison system. Obviously, in my Joe Biden video, I talked about that's probably not very likely. But in the event that we see Trump win another term, I think there is a lot of upside for this stock. Now, that being said, I don't think I would buy this stock as a large position just because I don't really like the management team. I don't really like the company either. There's too much debt. The CEO says he wants to keep the dividend, even though they should be using that to pay down debt instead, like their competitors. But what I could potentially do is open an options trade for Geo Group. So right now we can take a look at the options chain, and they have a lot of expiration dates. So this is actually probably something I would do if Trump wins. We could take a look at the January 2022 expiration. So that gives the stock over a year past the election to give the stock time to move to react to whichever president wins. And if you take a look at some of the options premiums, they're not that expensive. So if you bought something like a call with a strike of $10, if we did see this stock do a repeat of what happened in 2016, where it ran all the way up to $30, these options have the potential to make a lot of money. Now, obviously, this isn't financial advice, and options are risky because they can always lose 100% of their value. So don't just run out and buy options because you watch this video. Make sure you really understand how they work. So that's it for this video. Just want to share with you 3 stocks I would take a deeper look at if we do see Trump win the election. Let me know what you think, and if there's any other stocks that I missed in this video, that would be a good buy if Trump wins. Leave them down in the comments. So that's it for this video. If this is your first time watching, subscribe to the channel, and that's it for now, so I'll see you on the next video.